Welcome to our podcast, Parenting by the Pint. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, Minivan Mafia. Lauren and I are longtime friends from Chicagoland that love getting together to chat about life, kids, family, and beer.
Each week, we'll feature a brewery and sample at least 2 of their beers.
We'll also discuss a variety of topics ranging from parenting, pop culture, travel, marriage, and just about anything else that comes to mind. So we're starting to get right in the thick of it with fall, right?
I love fall. Fall's like my favorite season.
And what represents fall more than Halloween?
Right?
I mean, pretty much Halloween is like our fall Christmas.
It's our holiday.
Right?
I mean, like, Thanksgiving, we don't actually do much for Thanksgiving. Like,
Yeah.
We kind of, last year, I think I ordered pizza and watched movies because Brandon almost always works on Thanksgiving. Like, it just so happens that he's worked probably the last, 6 Thanksgivings.
I honestly can't remember what I did for Thanksgiving last year. I'm pretty sure my husband worked because I was just like, dude, you should definitely work.
Just work.
He gets paid double time to
it's
work
a holiday, so just do it.
And I'm like, there isn't really a good reason for you not to work this
Agreed.
holiday.
So for us, Halloween is our fall holiday.
Yeah.
So
Normally it kind of is for us too. However, this coming Halloween, my husband has to work, even though it's on a Sunday.
Sunday.
It's inventory at his job.
Oh,
so
it's the last day
the
of the
month
month.
after the quarter ends, you know how that goes. So he has to, not only does he have to work that day, he has to work like late into the evening.
That is a bummer.
It's a total bummer. I am just
bummer.
Really, you guys? Like,
That stinks.
it's Halloween.
My kids actually love Halloween. Like, it's
My kids
probably
do,
like
too.
one of their favorite.
Yeah.
We've instilled in them that it's
love
one
of
of our
Halloween?
yes, the love of Halloween. So,
Yeah, along those same lines, we are going to do something I never thought we would do on the podcast, and that is drink a small collection of pumpkin beers.
yeah, smells like pumpkin.
Yeah,
we're going to
so-
start with O'Fallon Pumpkin Beer. They're out of Missouri.
I was going to say O'Fallon, Missouri, I would expect.
Yep. Well, Maryland Heights, Missouri, I think it's what it actually is brewed. But
I could smell it from the bottle.
it's so we should caveat this with we don't like pumpkin beer.
Lauren and I are not pumpkin beer fans, which would be why I said
I never
this
thought
was
we would
never
do this.
something I expected to do. And it's funny because I proposed this.
This is true. This is your
and
fault. So.
I deeply regret that. No. But yeah, I just wish that it was something that I hadn't suggested. Not really. But but I'm not excited to try several pumpkin beers all at once. I mean, it is what it is. I guess if I
it'll
have
be
to
all
drink them,
right.
let's just get them all out of the way.
Let's get them over with.
Right?
O'Fallon Pumpkin Beer. It
Let's do
says,
it.
or pumpkin ale, whatever. It says, we love beer on the bottle. And it smells like pumpkin. And it tastes like pumpkin and spice.
It tastes
maybe?
like pumpkin and spice. It tastes more pumpkin pie than like
Yeah, that's
you
fair,
know.
but I do not like the aftertaste.
Ooh. No. Yeah, as to be expected.
Yeah.
It
All right.
is-
Well, I don't mind the smell as much as the taste. I prefer to smell it over to taste it.
You know,
but
do you like pumpkin in other things?
I like pumpkin pie.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite pie,
Yeah, I totally like pumpkin pie. So it's not that I don't like pumpkin.
right?
It's totally not that. It's that I don't know if it's the combination of the beer. I just
Yeah.
I have yet to meet a pumpkin beer that I like, and maybe that should be my goal this year. It's
Ugh,
it
sounds like so much work.
October 1st
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And we'll post this later, but I have a month to find a pumpkin beer that's tolerable.
I
palatable,
admire
if you will.
your efforts. I would
think about it. I'll
appreciate
think
you
about it.
letting me know how that turns out.
I will.
And I would even accept an offer to try pumpkin beers with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely don't want to go out of my way to do that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, this is totally. I have to go to the store and buy other things anyways. If they have a pumpkin beer, I'll grab a couple.
Yeah, sure.
We'll
Fair,
see. You know
fair,
what?
fair.
I'll evaluate these 4, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, all right,
Yes.
pumpkin beer. So I'm not going to talk about breweries, but I did look up some of the origins of our least favorite pumpkin beer, or least favorite flavored beer, I guess. So pumpkin beer's been around forever. This started in like the 17th century.
Whoa.
So the, colonial times, because pumpkins are native to here. So pumpkins were everywhere. Pumpkins were
geez.
easily obtainable. They could be completely substituted for malt. So they ferment. The mashed pumpkin is what ferments. So you can literally just make a beer out of pumpkin and almost nothing else. Some water and some pumpkin and some thyme. So it was easy for the colonists to do it because it was readily available. And they were going to use grains and things for other, staples. So pumpkin beer was easy. It was there. The American Herbal, which was like a, magazine type thing published in 1801, lists pumpkin beer right after porter and ale. So pumpkin beers have been around, published for a long time. One of the most often quoted recipes for pumpkin beer actually dates back to 1771.
Wow.
Yeah, so this has been around for a long time. And then once, things, it lost its popularity for a while. And then what we would say, I guess, modern times, our lifetime, it started to come back, but not as a complete base, just more of a flavoring.
Sure.
So the olden days...
This is an American thing, right?
Yes, this is an American thing. 100% an American thing.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else even tries this. Pumpkins, are really an American thing.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so modern pumpkin beers are more flavoring as an ingredient than it is the base. So the revival of the pumpkin beer can be attributed to a brewery out of Hayward, California called Buffalo Bill's Brewery. And they make, I think they still produce this, America's Original Pumpkin Beer. From 1980, I believe it started. And supposedly the story is that the brewer was looking through old writings of George Washington and came upon a recipe from the brewery at Mount Vernon of a pumpkin beer and used that as his inspiration to make this pumpkin beer that Buffalo Bill, America's Original Pumpkin Beer.
Oh, man.
So
that's some intense history there, friend.
So that is the kind of quick history of pumpkin beers.
I mean, that kind of makes me like it a little bit more because it's kind of cool.
I like the history of
Yeah.
it. Doesn't mean I like the taste of it.
Yeah.
But I figured if we're going to drink it, I might as well learn a little bit about it.
Right.
So
let's put this right there, the beer, and I'm going to put my glass next to the one we just tried.
all right.
So that I can
Oh,
sort
you can
of
try
keep
them and-
track.
Which ones do we like and not like?
Well, I don't
Well,
know
mean,
that it's going to go that way.
fair.
Let's not say things that we
Which
have
ones
to
do
then...
we like the least?
Yeah.
All right,
will have
well,
a
now
least
we're going to
favorite.
drink Shipyard Brewing Pumpkin Head. So this is out of Rochester, New York.
All right.
Pumpkin ale again.
Great.
So, the same. I like this color. Could just be. It doesn't look as orangey
Pumpkin-y.
as the first one. So the first one looks orange. It looks like orange high C. Like
Yes.
it totally does. This one looks more just like a golden ale
Yes.
to me.
It
Different smell though.
But it smells like pumpkin. The other one
It
had
does.
a spice to
The first one smells more like a pumpkin pie. This one smells more like a pumpkin carving. Oh no.
Lauren did not like that one, you guys. That was not her jam.
No, not
No,
so much.
sir. It is a very odd flavor. that I am having trouble kind of putting my finger on. My first sip, because this is a little bit cold, my first sip I was like, oh, this is okay. And then the pumpkin, it's like, okay, here's what I think we're getting out of this one. So if you were to cut a pumpkin up like a watermelon and then just bite a chunk out of it, this is what it would taste like. It's like raw pumpkin, straight up flesh.
Yeah, it's like a carved pumpkin. Like when
Yeah.
you're carving a pumpkin, that's what this is to
This
me.
is what
The
we're
first
eating-
one's
we're
like
drinking.
pie. This one's like you're carving a pumpkin, and this is the
And you just
flavor you're
ate
getting.
like the eye hole that you
right?
pulled out.
Yeah, you literally are just like taking some flesh and mixing it with. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm just not.
That one's not gonna go, you guys. I don't think that one's gonna win.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
It might win the least enjoyable.
This might be the winner of the
Let's not
least
close our
palatable.
minds
But we've
to
got
that.
two more. We got two more. But
Okay, let's
before
move on
that,
briefly.
yes.
Yeah, let's talk about Halloween, our
Yes.
favorite fall holiday. At
Yeah.
least our favorite fall holiday.
For
It's
sure.
not one of our favorite holidays in general.
I would say in our family it is one of our favorite holidays for
That's
sure.
wonderful.
Yes.
So when we decided we were going to talk about Halloween, like a gajillion thoughts just rushed
Oh my
into
gosh,
my
yeah.
brain. And I thought, well, I'd like to begin by talking about some of the Halloween costumes I wore as a child. And interestingly, I realized that I wore a lot of like questionable costumes growing up. At one point, I was a gangster for
Oh.
Halloween, which I don't know, it's not really controversial per se, although maybe not appropriate for a child. But
I don't know.
you know,
Spirit
I'm a-
Halloween sells a lot of questionable costumes
mean,
for children.
I'm sure they still have a gangster costume.
Oh, they do. I assure you they do.
I was also, now when I bought it, this was what it was called. So
Okay.
please, it's not a vulgar word, but I don't believe that it's acceptable.
Okay.
I was a gypsy.
Oh.
Which even at the time my mom had a bit of a twinge about that being
About it,
like an
yeah.
acceptable title for my Halloween costume. So I recall going to like Girl Scouts wearing it and her being like, just tell people that you're a genie. And I was like, okay. So
Sure,
that, to
Mom.
give you an idea, it was sort of like the little crop top and like the balloony
Like I Dream
looking
a Genie. Yeah.
pants. Yes.
Yeah.
And I had the little like headband with
Yeah.
the sheer little
Yep, for sure.
drape. That was exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you the name
On it was
On it was-
Gypsy. Yeah.
Gypsy.
My mom made a lot of our costumes.
That's so cool.
So, like, you know, I remember being, like, a cheerleader one time, and my brother was a football player. And, like, I think I repurposed one of my birthday party costumes with the poodle skirt
Oh, yeah.
for a costume. But my mom made a lot of our costumes as kids.
That's so
like,
cool.
For sure. We didn't buy much at all. So we always had we always like decorated and stuff, and we always trick-or-treated, and you know, we lived on major streets, so walking around was always
Mm-hmm.
fun. But my mom always had a Halloween breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And I know you were there at some because I
was gonna
remember
say,
seeing
I
pictures.
have it in my notes that
Yeah.
you had Halloween parties.
Yeah, we used to do, because my mom, remember like Count Chocula, they had different cereals, and my mom would buy all of the like those
Mm-hmm.
things, and we would all dress up, and she would have games and
Yes,
things, and
I
we
remember
would
that.
have like a group of kids, and so it wasn't the trick-or-treating part, but it was a party
Yes, I
before
never-
trick-or-treating.
I never remember it
Yeah.
conflicting with
Nope.
trick or treating.
No,
so it,
it
makes
was
sense that it
always
was a morning
before.
thing
Yep.
or an early in the day
Yes,
thing.
yeah. So what we always did that as kids. That was like my mom's thing.
Mm. Yeah.
She always
That
did
was a
that.
good one. That was
Yeah.
good. I always enjoyed that. Except that sometimes she would have like weird bags of mystery things that you were supposed to guess what they were, and it
And
was
she
like
would make
pretend
like the weird
brains.
jello things that would
Yeah.
have like brains and eyeballs and
Yes.
like all that, or like
Which-
spaghetti that like yeah, you would
which
have to
was
close
really
your
hard for
eyes.
me as a like a very texture based
Yes, a
like
sensory.
neurotic person, like it was someone who definitely
Mm-hmm.
had sensory issues as a kid. I mean, as a kid. I mean,
in general,
I
in life.
have sensory issues, you guys. I still couldn't hold a bag of spaghetti right now.
Yeah.
It would totally freak me out. So, yeah, as a child, I was just like, no, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, it was always fun. And maybe that's where my love of Halloween came from.
Yeah,
Is like we
totally.
always did Halloween.
Totally.
Like it was never just trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Like we always made an event of
That's
Halloween.
really cool.
Yeah.
In my house, we did do costumes, although they weren't handmade. My mom is not crafty.
Yeah.
She has many skills, but
For sure.
crafty is not one of them.
Yeah.
I don't recall her ever making me a Halloween costume.
Okay.
My brother did have an awesome Ronald Reagan mask, though, that I
Sweet.
remember that I kind of hope still exists
I know.
somewhere.
I kind of want to be like, so Tori.
Do you still have that
Still have
Ronald
that?
Reagan
'Cause
mask?
that would be fantastic if you did.
My guess is, if it exists, it's in my parents'
I was
attic.
gonna say it's at your parents' house.
I
yeah.
hope to one day find it.
That would be fantastic.
That would be
I love
awesome. Yeah.
It. Yes.
So, to switch gears a little bit, for my kids, my husband really likes to take them to the dollar store and buy like kind of cheapo Halloween decorations just so that they pick stuff out every
yeah.
year. So this is like an annual tradition. So it's nothing fancy,
Sure.
that element. Although last year I did buy a 10-foot tall Oogie Boogie inflatable for
That's
my front yard.
fantastic.
And I
love
keep it up through Christmas because I would argue that it's a Halloween
yeah,
and
it
Christmas
is a Halloween
decoration.
and Christmas movie. So I mean,
Don't you think
it's
so?
the Nightmare Before Christmas. It even has Christmas in
I
the
mean,
title.
it's
like, yeah, no.
both.
I
Which
fully
makes
support
it
this.
Totally worth the money that I paid for
Totally,
it.
totally. I support
For
this
sure.
completely. That's like one of my kids' favorite movies.
So, yeah, my
Yeah.
kids love it.
Totally.
They love the decoration. They love the
Yep.
movie. I have no regrets about it at
No.
all.
I fully
It's
support this.
A
yes.
great Halloween decoration. It pretty much covers my entire front yard, which is
I can
awesome.
imagine. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
really big. I got to put that baby back up.
I know we need to get our. So we go camping in September every year, but it's Halloween camping because the campground we go to does Halloween on the weekend, and every campsite decorates. So we bring not all, but we bring a lot of our decorations and we set them up for the campsite. So we have like a coffin, like it's plastic, but a coffin with like bones and spiders and black lights, and we have Jack
Spider
and Sally.
skeletons?
Spider skeletons and fuzzy spiders. Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My friend sent me a picture of a skeleton pumpkin that she recommended you get
Okay.
to terrify your daughter properly.
Yes, true. But yes, skeleton spiders. But yeah, and then we have Jack, Sally, Zero, and Oogie Boogie. Not giant ones, smaller ones.
But like average size
Yes,
ones.
average size ones. So we bring all of that when we go camping, and then you trick or treat from campsite to campsite.
That's so
kids
cool.
and adults. So
Nice.
I would say 75% of the campsites have candy for the kids and alcohol for the adults.
Whoa, that is
And
awesome.
whether it's like shots or like, whatever, vodka cherries or like some other like concoction, it's adults trick-or-treating and kid trick-or-treating.
That's so awesome.
So we made Jello shots and pudding shots for the adults and left out candy for the kids, and it's in Wisconsin, so they're pretty open. But literally, like, people just leave them. Like, we just left a sign that says 21 and over only, take a shot, and we left. And everybody
Nice.
does that. Like,
That's so
everybody was
cool.
fine with it. But our kids love it. Like, they look forward to Halloween camping from like June until September.
Yeah.
Like, when do we go Halloween camping? So that's a tradition that we've been doing for the last few years. But the other tradition that we have is instead of Christmas Village, we have a Halloween Village.
Okay.
So we go and buy a Halloween house or
Sure.
whatever every year.
Oh, nice.
And
I
so
like
then
that.
we've got a lot now. Like, we've got a pretty big setup of Halloween Village houses.
Do you have a Beetlejuice in there, though?
We don't have a Beetlejuice. We have, we've got, I'll have to take it. I took a video last year when we put it up because most of them make sounds and lights too.
Oh, cool.
So like in the dark, they like light up and cackle and like play whatever. So we do not have a Beetlejuice. It's probably trademarked. Most of them are like,
Yeah.
the Lemax or like, I think like Apartment 56 or something makes the Christmas ones, and Lemax makes most of the Halloween ones.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we go every year and we make a outing and we buy a new part of our Halloween
I love
village.
It. I love that. I like that type of collectible.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool, because it has a it fills a purpose within like the collection.
Yeah.
And it also has a decorative element that's really pleasant.
Yeah.
You know,
we
and
like
it's
it.
sort of it also is kind of a family tradition that you get to have.
For sure. We and my kids actually really enjoy having traditions,
Yeah.
like things that they look forward to doing every year, especially my son. My twin boy really likes traditions. Now my oldest, even though he's nonverbal, he picks out his own Halloween costume every year. And he wears it. Like last year, he was a banana. And he would just put his banana costume on sometimes and walk down the stairs on a random Tuesday in a banana costume.
Nice.
Like, and so this year he's a skeleton. And, you know, easy things, which is great. But this year he's a skeleton. So, yeah. So we've got the kids pick out their costumes every year. This year we're very basic. So my daughter is a witch. My son is an army guy, and my other son is a skeleton.
Yeah, my kids are really bent on being evil things.
Oh,
For
okay.
Halloween. So my youngest, I think, wants to be a skeleton, and my oldest wants to be a Grim Reaper.
Oh, we had a soul stealer or something,
Ooh,
which is essentially the
that's
same
kinda-
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so we went camping with two other families, and one of the guys was a soul something. I don't know. But it was
I think my nephew was
essentially a
that
Grim
too.
Reaper.
He had
Yeah.
like the scythe. You
Yes,
know?
exactly.
And I believe he was that. In fact, I've been meaning to ask him if he still has the costume so I can
this?
avoid.
'Cause that would be
Because my
super.
little one that wants to be a skeleton, my older son was a skeleton a couple
perfect.
years ago. And
That's
it was a
great.
really good
If I
costume.
can recycle costumes, I'm all
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
So what's the best things your kids have,
I
for
really,
costumes?
my oldest, I really love the banana. Like that's my
That's pretty
favorite.
great.
And so last year when we went camping, there was a gorilla in a cage, like dressed up, like a person
there
dressed
used
up
to
as
be
a
a guy
gorilla.
in my neighborhood that would do
and
that.
so like we made him go over by it, and so there was the banana and the gorilla, and it was adorable. But I really like the banana. I don't know, the twins, like they're fine. Last year they were both dinosaurs. I don't remember what they were before that. Nothing's really sticking out. I really like our costumes, so me and Brandon dress up every year too. And usually the adults dress up as well. So like,
Okay.
not all of them, but a lot of us do. Last year I was a blow-up unicorn, and that was the hottest. No, 2 years ago I was a blow-up unicorn, and that was the hottest costume ever. Like I was
Really?
sweating in that stupid thing. It was horrible.
Oh, no.
But last year I was Belle from Beauty and the Beast,
Uh-huh.
and Brandon had a shirt that said "I'm a taco," and he had a taco hat on. So when we were together, we were Taco Bell.
Oh, I love it.
Right?
That's
I really love
really
that one.
good.
So this year I'm a bee, and he is a beekeeper.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
so
liked that a lot. That was really good.
We like dressing up. It's fun. I mean, one year he was Bruce Banner, and I was Black Widow.
Okay.
Like, so we try and do like fun costumes, and you know.
That's really cool. I was trying to get my brother to dress up as David Rose from
Oh, I
Schitt's
love it
Creek,
from
and I
Schitt's
was going to be
Creek.
Alexis, so that I could be like, "Oh my God, David!
That
Ew, David!"
would be fantastic. Oh, I love
But
it.
my brother hasn't watched the show.
Oh no!
And I keep
he
pushing him,
needs
trying to get him to watch
he
it, and
totally
he-
needs to.
Hasn't, and I'm just like, "Come on,
Yeah.
dude! I'll get you a
Yeah.
black skirt. I need you to
Yes.
dress up as David Rose."
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, but
But
that
I
would be
was-
fantastic.
I was told that if I dress up as Alexis, I need to learn her dance that she does when she auditions in the show.
Yeah.
She auditions for this musical and she does her dance, and it's called A Little Bit Alexis. And I found a YouTube video of
Yeah.
the dance, and I've watched it a couple of times to just sort of like
Yeah.
ask myself if this is something I'm
reasonable?
capable.
Yeah.
It's not. I
No.
can't do it. I will try. I would try to do
Sure,
it, but
why
I
not?
cannot do it. Not in a graceful way.
In a hilarious
Oh,
way,
absolutely,
though.
in a funny
Yes.
way. Yeah, I could
We
totally
need to
do it.
have like an adult Halloween
I
party.
would love to do
like,
that.
That would
I
be
would
a ton
love
of fun.
to have an adult Halloween party.
Yes.
That would be so much
Right?
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think that
Because
needs
I
to
could
happen.
totally. I've decided instead of being
Alexis,
Alexis, because being just Alexis sounds kind of sad.
Not as cool. Yeah.
No. But I've decided to be Ted Lasso instead, which I know is a man.
That's
I don't
okay.
have a problem with that. I'm just
No.
gonna get a mustache.
You'll be fine.
But my husband looks exactly like Coach Beard, which is which is his assistant coach in the show. And I just feel like Ted Lasso and Coach Beard would be perfect. So I passively considering Ted Lasso. All the costume really requires is like a sweater.
Yeah,
and a
like
polo
not
shirt.
much. Yeah.
So
You could totally.
that's kind of where I'm leaning. Although I am starting to cut it close, but I was going to go to Goodwill tomorrow morning to see if I can find a sweater.
I bet you can.
Yeah.
No,
It's pretty
I
low.
totally
It's pretty
support this.
it's
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Yeah. No.
So I think it's findable.
I like it.
That's my opinion.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Let's grab another one of these pumpkin beers.
We're gonna try.
Well, I forgot. I wanted to tell you my kids' best costumes
Oh,
because
yes,
I
yes,
actually
yes.
have some pretty proud moments with Halloween
Awesome.
costumes. My little one, when he was little, 2 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
was a parking meter, and my older son was a police officer.
That's pretty awesome.
And I made the little so he just wore like an all blue outfit, like a onesie,
Sure.
and little pants. And I put a hat on his head that had the little gauge, like the time,
So like expired.
and the little red
Yeah.
ball was sticking up, and it just said nap time on it. And then the chart on his chest had like cute little sayings about like 5 cents is 5
whatever.
minutes of
Yeah.
cuddles or something
Aw,
like that.
That's adorable.
It was probably a high point in my
That's
Halloween
cute.
costume
I
ideas.
like it.
My older son was a train, and we like made him
Made
a
it,
costume
yeah.
at work out of like plastic, and
Oh,
it
wow.
was huge, like way too big for him.
Yeah.
An employee kind of helped me make it, and at some point I like had to go somewhere or do something briefly at work, and I come back and he's building this thing, and I'm like, dude, he's 4.
Yeah.
You can't. This is not gonna
You
work.
can't even lift this.
I
Yeah.
can't
That's funny.
put this on my 4-year-old.
Right.
The people at the preschool had to like help my son walk in the parade that they had at preschool because it was so big.
Oh. I for a couple of years we just bought like one year like my oldest was Batman, one year he was
We had some of that.
Iron Man, my other son was Captain America for like 2 or 3 years in a row. Like he just insisted on being Captain America. Like that was his costume for like a couple of years. I do remember now though that the kid costume jogged my memory. My oldest's first Halloween, we dressed him up as a lobster.
Nice.
And we wore a chef's hat and put him, like, our plan was to put him in, like, a bucket, like a big pot, like a stock pot that I had, like that one over there, to have, like, the lobster and the chef hat and then a, like, bib, like a lobster bib.
Oh yeah.
So that was
That's good.
that first Halloween costumes for us. So
That's good. I
yeah,
like that.
It was
My
cute.
son was a banana for his first Halloween. So when you mentioned banana being
banana.
popular with your son,
Yes.
I can totally see that. And my son actually, his banana, finger quotes, is a shark costume that he likes to just put on sometimes. And he wore it a lot during e-learning.
That's
I would come
fantastic.
downstairs
I kind of love it.
And I would be like, what are you doing? And he would be sitting there in
In
the
the
shark
shark
costume
costume.
in front of the screen in Zoom wearing the shark costume. Sometimes, and not as often, he would put on the skeleton costume during Zoom. And that has like a hood
Oh,
and it's got like a sheer
Yeah,
face, but
face.
it looks like a skeleton.
right. Oh my gosh.
I can only imagine what his teachers were like. Is your mother around? Is she
No,
there? Is
yeah.
anybody home? And I would just like get a message
Yeah.
on Seesaw.
Like,
Can you
hey.
just check on Joe? And I'd be like, oh.
Though, I mean, I feel like that at least gives them a little bit of comic relief too,
I mean-
because, like, you know, it was trying times. So
I never disciplined him for
For
wearing
that? Oh, gosh,
the shark
no.
costume.
I would definitely
in
not.
e-learning. I was
Yeah.
just like, dude, if
Yeah,
it made him sit down for
whatever.
5 more minutes, we
Then-
should all be happy that it worked out that way.
Exactly. All right, what's our
What do we got here? What is who is making
whole
this?
hog? I feel like I've heard of this specific pumpkin ale.
I wouldn't be surprised. My
I
husband
think
collected
this is a
these.
relatively popular one. Oh, it's from Wisconsin. Maybe that's why. It's from Stevens Point. So
Okay. Oh, I know Stevens Point.
yeah, never been there, but a lot of breweries there. So This one tastes more like the first one than the second one to me. It's got spices in it, and it tastes a little bit more like pumpkin pie.
Might even be a tad smoother. Mm-hmm. Is that the best word I can use to describe this? I mean, what do you want me to say? That's the best I got. I mean, it looks a lot like the first beer, too.
Yeah.
They definitely have a very similar
Yeah, they're very
color
similar
composition.
profile in general. This one might be a little bit more palatable. I'm going to go with that.
That was kind of what I was getting at. The first one, the flavors were very sharp. The spice and the pumpkin were pretty sharp. The second one was, I don't know what that was. It was raw pumpkin.
It was just pumpkin.
And then now this one is kind of like
a little bit
smoother version of the first one.
Fair. I can take that. I can get behind that, I suppose. So, yeah, I don't... I'm trying to think, like, even some of the seasonal beers from last year, even around Christmas time, though, I didn't love. Like, they had some peppermint ones. Different people had peppermint ones, and I was kind of out on a lot of those.
Peppermint is so tricky in beer. Too much or not enough is so common.
Yes.
Like, if you put too much peppermint in a beer, it is bad. And if you don't put enough, nobody's going to notice it's there, even with peppermint being a strong flavor.
Yes, because it just depends. So I did not find a good one that I
don't
liked.
know if there is one.
Yeah, I feel like though, and I haven't seen that many out now. Maybe it's too late for it, but for a while there, a bunch of people were putting out s'mores flavored beers.
Yes,
I feel like that's a flavor I can get behind.
I think
like Pipeworks did one, and
like Hubbard's Cave does.
I was gonna say Hubbard's Cave,
and I think they've done one for a little while now.
Hubbard's Cave though does that style very well. Like,
you remember the French toast?
Oh my god, I still think about that beer. I
love
that beer.
I do too. I use it as a baseline for like every sweet pastry stout I drink. I'm like, this is good of a flavor combination.
That was fantastic.
As French toast.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to investigate other seasonal type beers that have a more palatable flavor profile than
come up
pumpkin.
with another seasonal.
So we'll do it.
Subject.
Something that we're gonna have to really pick which one we love, not which one we hate the least. So
hate the least.
That's what I'm gonna go with. All right. This one I probably the third so far. I think whole hog I hate the least.
Okay, that's cool. But we actually believe that this last one might be the winner. We talked about it before.
It's different because it's pumpkin chai, so it's brewed with pumpkin but chai tea. So it's different, but still pumpkin. Saugatuck Brewing. Though I will say that I've had some beers from Saugatuck that I had high hopes for that fell real flat for me.
That's too bad.
We shall see. So, do you have any other plans for this upcoming Halloween season?
Kinda, yeah. So I know I mentioned that my kids wanted to be evil things.
Yes.
And that maybe one of them is going to be the Grim Reaper, maybe one of them is going to be a skeleton. But we've also been having this conversation about both of them and possibly my two nephews, although I haven't talked to them about it yet, being
Surprise!
crewmates from the video game Among Us.
Oh my gosh, my kids, they like the game, but they also like to play it like
in real life.
Real life, yes.
See, now that's something we can do together on a weekend where it's raining, by the way, because my kids also love that.
Yeah, my kids totally play that. Yeah. But
okay. So my nephews and my two used to play the game a lot together. It hasn't happened as much as it used to.
Yeah.
But they always kind of enjoyed it. And they love the idea of being like the imposter.
Yeah.
And so I saw like some random ad on Facebook about the costumes, and they're like those inflatable type.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
My youngest is like super into the idea.
Okay.
And I suggested, hey, why don't we get your cousins and your brother to do it too, and you can all be a different color.
Because two people don't really do it.
Yeah.
You need
and
more.
he was just like, oh, I love that idea. And I was like, okay, well, we got to make sure we can get four colors and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then he started to hesitate. Then he was sort of like, oh, I don't know if that's what I want.
Huh. Okay.
So I'm not sure where we're gonna
All
end
right.
up there.
Well, it's a good idea. I like it. But yeah, the twins enjoy that as well. So, all right. What do we think about
Lauren, oh
pumpkin
man.
chai?
I mean, it smells like the second one. I mean, it smells like a stronger version of the second one, and this one has chai in it. Is that what we figured out?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going
let's
in.
do this.
I'm going in.
Ugh.
It tastes like
It tastes like if you had soap that was pumpkin smelled. I'm sorry, you guys. This was the worst. I'm sorry.
I hoped it was smoother than it is.
My husband actually apologized for buying this one because his original intention was to get us basically like straight pumpkin beers.
Yeah.
And this one has chai in it, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't observe it when I grabbed the can, and I did a mix of 6 at his store."
Yeah.
And he grabbed this one,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Oh, maybe that'll make it taste better," which is exactly what you said.
I thought
when I brought it down
might,
here.
and I was wrong.
Oh my-
I will admit that I was
I mean,
wrong.
am
It
I-
does taste like tea, though. Like it has
guess.
a little bit of, but it's pumpkin tea. It tastes like pumpkin tea now instead of just pumpkin beer.
All right.
So it's pumpkin tea flavored beer,
Ugh.
which doesn't make it better.
It's not. Doesn't make it better at all.
But I kind of get an aftertaste of like a tea bag. Like it's
Dude,
not.
I mean, I don't know. Am I just having a stroke or
No.
something? Because it just tastes like a bar of soap to me.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I'm so sorry. I hate to say such negative things, and it's not Saugatuck. And I
Oh
know you said
no,
you've
it's
had
totally
some negatives
not. Yeah.
or whatever. But
I've also had good stuff from Saugatuck,
Me
so it's
too.
not. It's
Me
not
too.
the brewery.
But
it's
this-
the pumpkin.
beer, I feel like I need to post it on Facebook and ask people in the beer group if anybody really likes it.
I don't know what this tastes like. Like
I told you, it tastes like soap. I'm going to take another sip, even though that's a stupid idea, and I would never do that otherwise if it wasn't for our lovely listeners.
It tastes kind of like soap. Yeah, I guess I could see that. It doesn't
Ugh.
taste good. I need some whiskey or
Ugh.
something to like clear out my mouth.
I know.
I'm just gonna have to.
This
Yeah.
is
All right.
bad.
So the winner of the losers to me is Whole Hog Pumpkin Ale,
The least terrible.
the most palatable of these so far.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. And I agree 100%. I have no different opinion on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we tried. So
Okay,
it was
all
it was
Was
worthy
this,
effort.
would you say, better or worse than our experience
Seltzers?
of seltzers?
Dude, it's hard. That's a hard one.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this was actually better because there was one that I didn't
Hate. Yeah.
and I hated
The seltzers
all of the
and
seltzers.
the seltzers I
All of
couldn't like after that every time I smelled a seltzer I was like, oh,
Yeah.
the smell I couldn't do. For some reason I
Yeah.
couldn't get over the smell. These I can tolerate the smell of them probably more than the taste because they smell kind of like the first one smells like pumpkin pie. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
The third one I could drink, like I can drink it. I
Sure.
wouldn't prefer it, but it's palatable. The seltzers there was no chance. There was no chance with those. So I would say this is better
Okay.
marginally. That's
Okay.
where I'm at.
Fine.
So, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to all things Halloween. We have to go get our next addition to our village and lots of fun and no more pumpkin. Well, maybe pumpkin. I'll let you know. I will report back if I find a good one.
You do that. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and gracefully bow out
That's
on
totally
offering to
fine.
help you on this journey. I'm not going to do that. That's not
We will find a better seasonal beer adventure.
Sounds good.
Fantastic.
Sounds great.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining us, guys.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for listening to the latest musings from Parenting by the Pint.
Be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you find your podcasts.
Have a great week and cheers to you all.